marriage and good experiences with marriage. And a lot of people are fighting their father, fighting their mother, fighting people around them, and fighting marriages. We have a lot of girls who are achieving in our times, and they are achieving as single girls. They are achieving as single women in our country, and they are excited. And I want to say that when a woman is excited at the stage of marriage, and she's excited with achievement like education, achievement like profession, achievement like a car, achievement like a house. When a woman is excited with this level of achievement in her life, and she's not excited to get married, she's not being useful. She's being useless. And I keep telling people that the purpose of a woman that was created, if you check the creation therapy of God very well, it's simple. Women were created for marriage, and they were created that men will have their excitement and their refreshing with them. So women were created for the excitement of men. And yesterday I was discussing with somebody why the Kama Sutra book came up. It came up so that women will learn how to make themselves exciting, not to be made exciting by men. So God created women so that sexual intercourse will be completed in the life of men. So every erection needs direction. And for that matter, every man will need to have a woman so that they can clear their sexual fantasies in the life of a woman. So ladies and gentlemen, if a woman is achieving, a woman is getting, a woman is making it, and she's the biggest thing in town, she's the biggest voice in town, she's the best CEO, the best doctor, the best lawyer, the best politician, and she's not married, she's useless. She's useless. Because until the original purpose of creation is met in your life, you have nothing to write home about. So God brought women in the garden for a reason. So the Bible says it clearly, and those of you who believe in the Bible and believe in creation therapy, we have come to absorb it, and we have come to believe in it, that the purpose why women were created was because the Garden of Eden needed somebody to help Adam who was suitable, so that Adam will concentrate on the husbandry nature of the garden. Adam will continue to make the garden look better. Adam will continue to fulfill the promise of God in his life. Adam will continue to make sure that the Garden of Eden will become suitable and palatable and presentable in the sight of God, without going and coming back and finding himself to come and now cook some food. Come now and come and sweep. So God brought in a helpmate. So women were created or were made for men. Men were created in the likeness and in the image of God. So anytime you see a man, you see God. Is somebody there with me? If you see a man, you see God. If you see a man, you see God. That's the thing. So if you see a man and you have seen God, then who is God? God is man. Is man and his tripartite. But in the nature of God, the Bible says that let us make man in our own image. In his image, he created them male and female. That was in chapter 2. But chapter 1 is a summary of the creation of God. Chapter 2 breaks down how God did it. So chapter 1 tells you that he made them male and female. Yes, God created male and female. But chapter 2 tells you that man lived 10 years after before the woman came. So in terms of making sure that things will happen in the life of man and woman were not created just to come and live in the garden. But what brought them together when they were created as male and female, marriage brought the two of them together so they can help keep the garden on going. So God made man with the perfection that he wants. He made man with the image in him, God, and made man with everything that when you're looking for God, you see man. You can be able to replace God with man. God made man in a way that in the cool of the day, when they come to fellowship, they come to share ideas. They come to judge on how to keep the garden going. They come to make sure that the garden is kept well. They came to make sure that whatever I'm creating will have a meaningful expectation in the garden. By all those times, the things that God created, he called them into being. They have no name. So the Bible says that this is how God allowed the things to be named. He brought the things that he has created and gave it to Adam so that he named them. And the Bible says that for every name that Adam called, God accepted the name that Adam called. For that matter, anytime you see any animal walking, remember it was named by man. So men have the capacity and the ability to name. Women don't name. Women were not created to name. Men were created today because when men, the expansion and the continuation of procreation is accepted. When I say it's accepted, what I mean here is that anytime a man is born, one of the things that happens is that he begins to build up a sperm dart. And in the sperm dart, he grows to multiply with the family that he comes to. Paternity test is what we've done. So every human being as you're walking, your father's chromosomes are higher in you than your mother's own. So we can easily identify you by the family that you belong to as a male. Do you understand? From your father's angle. And the reason is that the Bible says that whilst you were a clot of blood in your mother's womb, I knew you. So thank you very much. This is it Michelle watching us from New York City? Hello guys, welcome from New York City. So thank you for joining us. Share the page for us and let others come to join us. Thank you very much. So anytime a man drops a sperm, he doesn't drop sperm, but he drops a name. So God gave man the ability to be able to impregnate a woman. Now, this is what happens in the Garden of Eden. When God put a deep sleep on man, what he did in the life of man was to put the power of procreation in man and remove a rib from man so he could make for man a woman that would be suitable for him to quench the taste of man. Taste of what? Appreciation. Taste of what? Sexual fantasies and sexual intercourse. So Bible says that, and the Lord God brought the things he has created for a man to name it. But for Adam, there was no suitable partner. So when God has finished creating everything, there was no woman in the garden. So women are actually the afterthought of God, but became the most important thing that happened to creation and the worst that happened to creation. So women are both the important thing that happened to creation and the worst thing that creation have to battle with. The first battle in the Garden of Eden in the life of God and man was Eve. But God created Eve in the desire of man. So women are very important in everything we do. However, if they are not managed, they become a disaster to whatever good thing they were made for. It is easy for women to become very disastrous in life because the importance of women are men. Everything the woman does, it ends up in a man. Because the Bible says that for no man came out of a woman, but every woman came out of a man. That's what scripture says. So let's be very careful as a man. And when you are a careful person as a man, you are representing God as a man. You are representing creation as a man. You are representing the beginning and the end as a man. For that matter, men must not take things for granted. Men should not take things for granted. One of the things that I see men and I pity men, a man should not be a lazy person. I mean, no woman should work harder than a man. It shouldn't be. The ground was not cursed for the sake of the woman. The curse of the woman was that you are going to go through pain. I will increase your pain in delivery. It means that the woman had some level of pain already. But the curse that God put on woman was that I will increase that pain. But in the increment of the pain, what he did for man was that he brought toil and tills and tones on earth for the man. So that the man would now work harder so he could provide for his family. Because a man's provision is for the family. And the Bible says that a man who cannot take care of his family is worse than an unbeliever. And he's an infidel. So when men are not taking care of their wives, which are the first responsibility of a man, then he is worse than an infidel. He's useless. He's not useful. A man who doesn't have a wife is useless like a spoiled vegetable in a dustbin. There's no use for him. As a matter of fact, a man who has not married and has passed married age must be sacrificed for pacification. We need to sacrifice him. Because there's a reason why God created you. He created you to come and marry. So some were saying the last time we were lecturing that marriage is not by force. And I'm going to make it clear today for you. That if marriage is not by force, then God could have not wasted his time in coming to create a woman for a man at all. Thank you very much. Melona and Sam. We are learning. I mean, if you don't agree, we are not forcing you to agree. But we are learning. And knowledge is not in any one person's head. Just like it's not in my head. Do you get me? Knowledge is not in my head. And for that matter, what I believe is that if you also have something you share, that's why I give you a chance to bring your comment and I read them. But we are not insulting each other. So when I say something you don't understand, you have the right to ask me. That's the most important thing we should all do to ourselves. Insult has not brought anything. Do you get what I'm talking about here? So man was created because God wanted man to continue procreation. Woman came into the life of man. And the reason why woman came into the life of man was for the same reason. That procreation will continue and take shape in the world that God has made. Today, our lecture is that, is marriage that important? And I came to tell you, yes. Without marriage, the world will never move forward. Somebody, how old should a man be? Any man who marries after 30 stays in marriage. Any man who marries before 30 will still be looking for a wife. And any woman who marries after 29 or 28 will always stay in marriage. And a man must be older than a woman, 7 years maximum, 3 years minimum. No woman should be older than a man to marry you. If you are older than a man, you marry the man, you will suffer as a woman. Because you tend to become the one driving the marriage. And that marriage is not supposed to be driven by a woman. Marriage must be driven by a man. Hello? Marriage must be driven by a man. So anytime there's a home that a woman is the one driving the home, there's a curse in that house. No blessing we find in that house. Whatever you see you call a blessing is a curse in disguise. You see, the pivot and the voice of God doesn't come to a woman in a home. When God wants to speak to my house, he speaks through me. That is why the sin of a man doesn't block him from hearing God. Once a man has connection with God, he might go wrong. He might have errors on his way. But God knows that the day he disconnects from the father and from a man of a house, he begins to put the woman and children in serious problem. The devil knows very well that he can never get to you until he's able to weave through your wife and weave through your children. So a woman who is stubborn, that doesn't obey the rules and regulations that the husband is given, will always lead the family to troubles. I don't know if somebody is getting the interpretation I'm giving. So a man was created by God so that a man would take care of the garden and take care of the animals that the Lord has created. Take care of the things that God has created. And the next activity for the life of every man is to have worship with the Creator who is God. So if you're a man, you are worshiping me and you don't have any trust for deity, that you have no connection to God, that you don't know how to communicate with God, that you don't know how to have time with God, you don't know how to, be the mouthpiece of God as a man, then you have lost your ingredients on earth. It doesn't mean that God will write you off. It doesn't mean that God will throw you away. But when these things are not happening in your life, then it gives God another opportunity to say, why have I made this particular man? Do you get what I'm talking about? And some say she said useless. When counselor said a woman who doesn't want to marry is useless, she means no harm, I'm sure. Oh, yes. I will come back to explain. Continue listening. A woman who is not married, I said, is useless. And a man who doesn't have a wife is as useless as a spoiled vegetable in a dustbin. And I will repeat it every time. Because you see, your usefulness is only seen in marriage. So when you're working and you don't have marriage, you are not useful. Nothing happens to you properly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as I dive deeper into it, you understand the conversation. So keep on watching and keep sharing to friends, because a lot of people are suffering in marriage. The bad examples girls are seeing, the bad examples our children are seeing, are the reason why marriage has become very difficult for them to stick into. And a lot of you have practiced marriage while you are not married. And you have suffered by the result of practicing marriage in a wrong way. Let me drink some Carbell into my system. It's not true. Nyameba, it's not true. Nyameba, not true, please. What you have written is not true. That the whites who marry the older people, the white people marry older people, because in Europe and in the US, there's no marriage, there's cohabitation. What they do is not called marriage. Is it for documentation? They don't. What they do is not called marriage. The standard of marriage that was established from if you read the history of the United States of America, especially read the marital history of them. This is not in the system. It's appalling. You know, the thing is that we should be careful when we are allowing children to marry grown-ups. It's one of the things we'll discuss today as some of the reasons why people have lost interest in the marriage circle we find ourselves. Marriage is typically meant for the adult. It's not meant for children. So when a woman is old and wants to get married, and his interest is in marrying small children who are equally supposed to be like his sons as a woman, you have disgrace creation, and you are very disgraceful when it comes to the feminine gender. Because in the first place, the man is supposed to be your head, and headship is not just by the figure as a man, but headship comes with age, authority, finance, and command. So I'm just imagining that you are older than me. I find myself at 53 years and I'm marrying you, and you are 67 years, and you want to control me, or I should control you. I mean, imagine how difficult it is for you to be taking orders from a grown-up, from a small boy as a grown-up. God created man and waited 10 years before he brought woman into the existence. And there was nobody in the Bible that got married to anybody who they happened to be older than as women. Everybody that got married in the Bible, even in the Quran, I mean, men were always older, and the Quran gives specific age difference. We don't want to talk about the first marriage between Muhammad and the wife in the beginning. But what we are talking about is that men are supposed to be older than women before they get married to them. Counselor, please, who does the children really belong to? The man or the woman? I want to know who keeps the children when there is divorce. I'm going to explain that to you very, very much. I mean, this question of who does the children belong to is a simple thing. The children belongs to the man. Children belongs to the man. All children belongs to the man. Simple as ABCD. That is why the men must be responsible in the upkeep of the children. In the law court, when divorce occurs, the choice is given for the children per their age to determine wherever they want to live. So, and in the law in Ghana, children above 7 years are determined to know where they're going to live. But even that, if I divorce you today and we have children, per the age of the children and per my standard where I am, do I have what it takes for me to run a home? Am I marrying again? Do I have a family that can assist me to take care of the children? The law will take these things into consideration before a child is given to me for custody. I might be given access as a man, but custody regularly goes to the women. Unless the women have challenges like mental deficiencies, they have some particular clinical deficiencies, or the status where they are living is not okay and they are not ready to move on in life and whatever it is. So the law will take very, very serious look at these things. If the woman deserves to take care of the children, is the woman sane enough? Has there been any proof of clinical status that shows that the woman is not qualified? Is she going through some bipolar phases of her life? Is she going through some, some traumatic issues? So we do that before, madam. Before children are handed over and given access to the man and given custody. There are times that they are giving full custody or to the man without a woman coming closer because of some issues that have come up in clinical therapy. So children will regularly go ahead and forever belong to the man. That is why the man must be responsible in the upkeep of the children. The laws that were made for women and children. That is why there are many a times that you find out that women have so much favor in the law court than the men. And that's okay. I am not ready to go and battle that. I'm not ready to go and do that. And that's why I want women to enjoy themselves as women. Make sure that you enjoy yourself as a woman. The policies that have been stated down for you, enjoy yourself within the policies, and things will work for you and nothing else. So as I continue, so the man was created to marry a woman, and the woman was made for the man. Man was created, but unfortunately, the woman was made. Why? The design of God for a man was for God. Man was designed and was created in the image and the likeness of God. So God had a plan, and the plan God had was a plan that he had to create the man who will be like us. Let us make man in our own image. He spoke to the angels in those times and wanted to make man in our image. And when he made man in his image, he wanted man to become okay and live. the way they were living. So man was going to live like the way God was living. But God put everything in man. Remember, the angels have male organs. They have female organs. Angels have penis, they have vagina. Because the Bible makes it clear for us to know that in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, when they went back to go and visit, when this woman became a pillar of salt, and the angels were sent those days, they went and they asked that he should give them his daughter to have sexual intercourse with. The sons of God that came, they sinned. They came to see beautiful women, they had sexual intercourse with them. So angels have penis, angels have vagina. So I mean, they are not exempted from the creation. But the Bible says that they were created a little lower than us. So angels are created a little lower than us. That's why they minister to us. Did you get what I'm talking about? They minister unto us. I mean, Noah's time, they requested that he should bring his children out for them to have sexual intercourse with them. So angels are beings and they have all the things that we have. So God created man for a reason. And the reason why God created man was for man to take care of the garden that God has created. He wanted somebody to work in the garden. He wanted somebody to prepare the garden. But in the preparation of the garden, he saw that man needed something else. So the loneliness of man is what caused man to go through that anesthetic moment of a deep sleep. That God will now cause him to be disabled with a complete rib on his cage. And took one of the rib and then made out of the rib a woman for the man. The purpose why God made the woman for the man was the reason why when God completed the making of the woman, not in his likeness and not in his image, but a design that is suitable for the man. Should I repeat? God said, I will make you a helper suitable for you. So God when man was in deep sleep, God didn't say, let us make woman in our image. But he was making a woman suitable and helpful to the man. Do you get it? So man went into deep sleep where he didn't know his left from his right. And out of the rib that God has taken, he molded out of it and made a woman suitable for man. Watch it here. When God was making the suitability for man, one of the things that God never brought in the existence of man was to give man the option to tell him what he wants in the woman. So hear me well. This is why I tell every man, the right for you to carve a woman for yourself is wrong. So when a man thinks that I want to marry you, for that matter, I want you to change your look, change your mouth, do this to yourself, it is wrong. God made a woman suitable for you. God didn't give you the opportunity to come and carve a woman to be suitable for you. So the way you see the woman, if it is not your taste, let it go and let the one who is tasteful with that particular design come for it. But we try to mold women to suit us. Once you mold a woman to suit you, then you have now begun something that you cannot live with. I get what I'm talking about here. When you meet a woman and she has no breast, and you want a woman with breast, you don't need to marry that woman. Let her go. Look for the one with breast. When you meet a woman who doesn't have fair skin, and you need a woman with a fair skin, it means you've gone for the wrong one. Don't give her money to bleach or to inject herself to become fair. Is somebody get what I'm talking about? So the issue is that men were not created to come and make women. We were created to come and have women as suitable helpmates. And remember that God took one rib to create a woman. After the creation of woman, he stopped using ribs to create. He now deposited the power in the woman that he has created. With the rib he took, he now gave woman the chance to have 400 and plus eggs that will go through a cycle to break down, and after which an ovulation is made so that a man will have a sperm that doesn't have a cycle but will constantly be able to cook the egg that has been fertilized, so that the egg will now form a beam that the fetus will cut itself smaller pieces and mold something out for us. After the first rib was taken to create Eve, God never took rib to create anybody again. So if you are a man and you are looking for your rib as a wife, you won't get. No man will get a rib. No man. Look, no matter who you think, including myself, I didn't marry my rib. My wife is not my rib. She's not. My wife is not my rib. My wife happens to be a suitable helper for what I am doing as fulfilling the purpose of God. This is the suitable helper I found. So if marriage is not coming up and people are losing desire for marriage, the first thing the man needs to do is to create the desire so you can meet your design. Women were designed for the desire of man. So once your desire is there, then you can go and look for the design that will fit your desire. This is why when women are walking around looking for husbands, it depicts the purpose why they were created. And I say it's prostitution in disguise. Because anytime a bone is walking and looking for dog, it means that that bone has lost its value. So where are we now? That women are now applying for men to love them. Women are now going online and sending applications for men to love them. Women are now looking for dating sites to go for men to come and love them. Women are now going for TV program, radio program. I mean, was it last week? I heard a radio program say they find love on radio. And women were able to give their numbers and tell their employment. And they want men to come and look for them. It is so shameful. Have you gotten to a stand where you become so useless that nobody's identifying you? Everything about the woman, as ugly as you are, you should be identified because you were created as a desire and a design for a man. You are not in the image of God. You are not. You are not. So everything about you should provoke a man. Everything about you should provoke a man. So what is causing you not to be able to see that favor of a man? Sorry. What is it? This is getting hotter. What is causing you? Sorry, I have to distract you. What is causing you? Why are men not getting close to where you are? What is causing men not to identify you? Why? What is it? Have you asked yourself why? That's the thing. You need to know why. You need to know why. Don't jump into conclusion. Don't jump in any conclusion. If you are ugly, you know you are ugly. And every man will go for a beautiful woman. So whatever you think is ugly about you, work on it. There's nothing wrong in enhancing your beauty. There's nothing wrong with it. So the first question is that a man must identify you. So when you see women walking around there looking for men, when you see, look, if you are a prostitute, if you are doing a shower and you are looking for men, it's normal. That's it. That one I accept it. It's normal. Because I'm not here to stop prostitution. Because when Christ came, he met prostitutes. He didn't stop them. And they are part of God's creation. It's a profession that is older than me. So my desire on earth is not to come and stop prostitution. It's to come and help women who are into prostitution come to an end to their prostitution life and then begin to identify themselves as wives so that somebody will marry them. So in the first place, as a woman, don't go and look for love. What is looking for love? Walking around? No. But it is important for you to position yourself in a place where a man can identify you and be thinking that he wants somebody who is a desire and a designed for him. So women were created suitable for men. Hello? Women were created suitable for men. So a man is the one that can determine whether you are suitable for him. Let me explain to you what I'm saying a man can determine. It's difficult for a woman to determine that you are suitable for a man. That one, you are far away from it. Because the Bible says that, and when the Lord God has made a woman, he paraded the woman in the sight of man. And man said, and now, this is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman. And he says, for this reason, a man will leave the father. So a man must identify in you, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. It is not the woman identifying in a man that this is bone of my bone, this is flesh of my flesh. It is a man that must identify in you. And it is when you are paraded before the man. It is when you are walking around the man. Not when you are looking for the man. But the woman was paraded. The woman was made clear in the sight of man. And you know, ever since that happened, if you go and check the Egyptian people, where the way queens are taken for, in the life of Esther, the Bible says that it came clear to everybody that they needed a wife because Vashti misbehaved. And then they have to form a beauty pageant, which was a parading for identification and collection. So wherever you are walking, wherever you find yourself and you are moving your movement up and down, it's not bad. It's very, very important. I appreciate your movement everywhere. You are in the office, you look good, somebody will identify you there. But it is not the same like you going for a program to go and look for love. That you give your vital statistics for a man to say, check. No, that's not dating. That's not dating. So a man must have the requisite tools, so he will be able to go for his desire and design. But listen to me. When a man has nothing he's doing, he doesn't need help. Now let's identify the helps that men need. A man needs the help to run a home for him because men cannot run homes. I can't run a home. I can't. As a man, I can't run a home. I can't. I won't be too no. I mean, I won't pride myself on what I can do. Home running is the principal duty of women. Men cannot run home. Men make houses, but they don't run homes. So the housekeep, the cooking, the feeding, the cleaning, the setting up, these things are done by the women. And these are the helps that were created for men. The next thing is that men need sexual gratification. The power of a man is hidden in his sexuality. When a man loses his sexual potency, he becomes more useless than anything on earth. Take it. When a man is not potent, when the penis of a man is not working, he feels like he is an animal who is not useful even for soup. Do you get it? So a man's potency doesn't reside in the amount of worth he has. It resides in his ability to satisfy the sexual desire that God put in him. Because it is the medium, the weakest moment of a man is the sweetest moment of that man. Do you get a picture? So there is some desire that every man has, and it has been taken and putting in a woman. Some time ago, I was the type of person that when I hear a big man have had sexual intercourse with his house help, I go hard on him. But fast forward, I took my time and let me begin to study the stories that are coming before me. The vulnerable men who were coming before me, the men who were falling victims to having sexual intercourse with their maid servant, the vulnerable men who are having sexual intercourse with their secretaries, the men who are sleeping with the women who are close with them. And I realized that let me rather go and look for what is there. And that is where I realized that the only thing that will kill a man that is married is not the same thing that will kill the man that is not married. Watch it here. A man who is not married can easily be killed with disrespect. But a man who is married can easily be killed with disrespect. But the man who is not married can be killed with poverty. Let me explain. The man must have something doing before he desires to have a wife. Don't marry a man who is a pastor and has nothing doing. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. A man must have something doing, fulfilling the promise and the purpose of God in his life. And one of the things that God told the man was that the ground will be hard for your sake. Now look at something here. In the book of Genesis, the Bible says that when the Lord released the curse on a woman, he told the woman, listen, look at the burden the Lord has put on a man. Which is why when a man is not working, he's not qualified to marry. Unemployed men, when you hear they are getting married, they are wicked. They are wicked. When a man cannot provide shelter, befitting shelter for himself and a wife, and you hear he's getting married, he's wicked. When a man doesn't think of how to leave my house to work, and he thinks about how my wife can leave the house to work, and you hear he's going to get married, he's wicked. And these are the useless men I'm talking about. Because watch it here. When God came back and finally wanted to land the curse of the woman, he says, I will increase your pain in delivery. That was a curse. He didn't end there. Before he even said, I'll increase your pain, he said, and for what has happened between you and the serpent, for the rest of your life, your seed shall crush the head of the serpent, and the serpent will constantly strike the heel of your seed. So the seed in the woman that is going to be planted by the man will be the seed that will go and crush the head of the serpent. So the devil will always have to fight you so that when you don't produce a child, nobody will crush his head. That's another theology I will go explain another time. But where I'm bringing is that the Bible says that your pain will increase. So the sin of Eve increased the pain of delivery. So women were going through pain to deliver. After God brought Eve, people lied to you that the reason why God sacked them from the garden was because they had sexual intercourse. God blessed the two of them and they had sex the first day they met. He married the two of them, so sex was part of their life they are living. Sex was okay, so it was not sex. Just that one of the most envious and crafty animal in the garden was the serpent. And the serpent wanted to be the next in command. But when the man chose the woman above the serpent, then the man became the target of the man, of the serpent. So now the serpent knew that his master is the man, but he thought he should be next in command when the man is not around. But the man made the wife the next in command, and the serpent didn't have any relationship with the man anymore in the garden. But because the wife has come and the wife is inquisitive and interrogative, the serpent became nice with the wife just so he could get the man. When a man is not in charge of his house, he opens the door for the serpent to come and destroy his family. So be careful and become in charge of your house, spiritually and physically. Whatever your wife does, be interested in it. Be interested in what your wife does. Be interested in how your wife brings food to the house. Because if you don't take care, the serpent will give him a forbidden fruit and you will eat. And before you realize, you have contaminated yourself through the love of your wife, and you will lose the presence of God with punishment. So God put a burden on the man. In cursing the woman, he rather brought a burden on the man. Listen to what God said. He says, and for the rest of your life, the next curse was that, woman, and for the rest of your life as a woman, as a wife, for the rest of your life as a wife, your desire shall be for your husband. Now watch it here. I pity you girls who are not married and you are dying for foolish boys in your life. A man is not married to you. He's just having sex with you like a glorified ashawo. He's just sleeping with you and going up and down. He's just going around with you and you are calling him my fiancé, my fiancé, my foxy, my lasty, my lusty, whatever shit you call it. And you are dying for him. Some of you want to drink medicine to kill yourself for a man who has not married you and is breaking away from you. Some of you have gone to a level of even writing your names on your skin for a man who is not married you. Look, there's no legitimacy until a man comes to marry you. And if your desire is for a boyfriend, you are a fool. The curse of God is not for a boyfriend. My time is getting up. I promise you I was just going to do a 40 minutes and leave. 40 minutes is always up, and I'm going to close now. We're almost there because we started at 6. We have just about some 2 minutes to go. Simple. The problem is not about me. It's not about you. It's about what God said from the beginning that nobody can reverse it. Nobody can. He says, and for the rest of your life, your desire shall be for your husband. So when I see women whose desire are for their husband, I don't see it as a problem. I don't pray against it because they are exhibiting what God said. But when I see a girl who's not married to a guy and is dying for the guy is beating her, the guy is abusing her, the guy is doing all the negative things to her, and she's just there choking as a boyfriend, you are a fool. The same way when I see a guy who is spending on a girlfriend, I say, you don't have sense. You don't know how to invest. You have useless money. It's waste of money. It's waste of money. You are not married to the girl, so why are you paying her fees? No. If she's practicing prostitution and using her shower mentality to collect money from you, okay, that's okay. But when you have choked somebody's daughter and you are taking care of her, and you are complaining, and they say man is every day. I mean, check yourself. A branch away so wa fi na wo su adwuma sika kakra wo nya no hwe dodo ade mo oba wo wale no hwe sika wo de ma no una ye ni ti ma no una meska okosu adwuma una auto machine ma no oye wo ba onya wo yiri onyire wo unwura no okay uwura no na so uwura no se ahya wo enti e bia enti na wo tua no that's when you bere padia oba wani da bema so oba be ware odache infie miensa wote ho twen wo yegimi fo ada ho abo ho so ana obi ampe wa na aden se wati kwa abrochire se wo kwa kosua ade na oba bi ti ha etwen nyankopon bie kwan papa bi ma wa abrochi a na wani ese wani ba wachi ese wa hye bobi wa wachi ese obedi so wonya papa eyale no miende nyamede tu oba so no or the son no mean to a bar, so send a bear, bear my bre. I am a said here. God cursed the woman and said, for the rest of your life, your desire shall be for your husband. He shall rule over you. And once your wife's desire is on you, it means that everything your wife does, you have to be interested in it. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot live with your wife and your wife will do things that you are not interested in. So your interest in your wife's life is very important. That is the neglect that Adam did. That is what Adam didn't focus on. So when God cursed the woman, he told the woman, for the rest of your life, your desire shall now be for your husband. He shall rule over you. The orders to run the house is made by the man, not the woman. Marriage is not democracy. So it is not equality. Nonsense equality. When a man says, let's go left, the woman says, right is the best. If the man says, I won't take the right, then the house is going to be on fire. And because the man doesn't want to see any law coming at him, because when a woman reports any abuse, the law were made for women and children, you'll be arrested, you'll be prosecuted, you'll be put behind bars. So you are following the negativity of the woman. You are just about to eat the forbidden fruit. You should rule over her. So every wife is a servant under a husband. When a woman gets to marriage age and is still under parental control, she becomes useless in public. Take it or leave it. If you get to marriage age and you are still under parental control, you become useless in town. Look at these two things. If you get to marriage age and you marry, I'm married now. It doesn't mean I've lost the control of my father. I am still under the care of my father. But there are decisions that I am making now, which is the decision that I'm making for a family that I'm leading. So I am a leader now, but under a leader. I get what I'm saying here. When anything happens to me in the marriage between me and my wife, we are able to solve it before we go to my father, because they have raised me. They went to seek for a woman's hand in marriage for me, because they have raised me to a point where they know I can manage a home and make sure that I manage somebody's daughter. So why do you want to get married to a woman whose family want to give you a job? You are a useless man. I mean, your father-in-law has a company, and because you want to marry the daughter, he's asking you to resign from your previous workplace and come and join his company so you can become a manager to marry the daughter, because he sees that you can't take care of the daughter. Immediately you enter into such marriage, you have entered into a foolish contract where you now become the tool that the father wants to use on the daughter. Marriage is not democracy. So a man who cannot run his home should not be called a husband. When a man gives the order, the woman needs to follow. It's not negotiable. But a man can be able to release orders and to be followed when you begin to have interest in the affairs of your wife. You have no knowledge about menstruation because you don't know about menstrual part. You don't know anything about menstruation. You don't even know when the day that your wife menstruates. So you don't know when she's in a menstrual swing mood or what. You have no idea. You don't even know when your wife is about to deliver. She's pregnant. You don't even know when she got pregnant. What I'm saying is that there is nothing about your wife that you know. The fact that you release money for your wife to cook for you, you should be interested in how much is spent on cooking so that you see whether you are giving enough money for your helpmate to help you, or your wife is adding money to feed you. Anytime your wife is adding money to feed you and it's voluntary, your wife is adding money to feed you and she's happy about it, your wife is adding money, then you are just free and blessed. But anytime your wife is adding money and it's because it is under compulsion, under request, under order from you, then you are under a curse. These things I'm saying will not be pleasant. It will not be pleasant in your ears. That is why there are a lot of people who are now living with step parents and they can't live. This is what I've learned. If I decide to marry another woman and I divorce my wife, now watch what happens. The children come to live with me. Whatever their stepmother, who is my new wife, tells them, they need to obey. They are not obeying as their mother, but they are obeying what their stepmother is saying because the order is coming from their father. Are you getting a difference here? The same way if my wife carries my children to go and marry another man, the man has come to marry their mother. Their father is not their father, but every order in the house that their stepfather will give, once it is taken care of by their mother, they are supposed to follow the order because the order is coming from their mother's husband. They didn't choose their husband for their mother. If I'm a stepchild and I'm living with my stepmother and my father, every order my father gives, it is left with my mother, my stepmother, to make sure that the order is followed. So look at why girls today who are born one, born two cannot marry. Because they are not ready to subject their children to the order of their husband. They want to bring their children into the marriage, but isolate them from the order of the man. But let me tell you, if you are a man, you are about to marry a woman who has children, and you cannot give orders for his children to follow in the house, then don't marry her. Same way, if you are a child, and you are living with your stepmother, and the orders that your stepmother is implementing in the house, you can't stand by it, and you are getting angry and you are blaming your father. This is your father's choice. It's not your choice. Whoever your father determines to marry, is it your choice? And never think that the new woman in your father's life is the reason why your father left your mother. No. That's how we've taught some time ago. If I marry anybody today and I divorce my wife, I don't think anybody at all's behavior and character can cause me to divorce my wife and marry that person. So that when my children come into the marital home, they are coming to disrespect their stepmother who are giving orders. I tell their stepmother, today, this evening, we are going to eat what? Stepmother says, today, honey, we are eating yam and kotomire stew. And then me, my children in the marriage will say they want to eat rice. So they will go and cook rice in my wife's kitchen. Never over my dead body. It won't happen. This is why people are not seeing the importance of marriage. Because most of them are from broken homes. And they are blaming their stepmothers that the sign they saw in their stepmother has taken the desire of marriage out of them. No, it is your indiscipline. It's your indiscipline. If you are a born one, if you are a born two, and a man comes to you, he wants to marry you, you are the interest of the man, not your luggage, not your excess baggage. So when you are bringing a child into that family, I am marrying you and I'm understanding that I'm marrying a born one. I'm marrying you and I'm understanding that you have children already with another man. The children are not my responsibility. I'm not supposed to go and pay their fees. I'm not supposed to buy dresses for them. I'm not supposed to buy shoes for them. I'm coming into the marriage with my children. Why am I coming and taking care of my own? And the man who married you has refused to take care of the one that he has with you. So I marry you, right now you're the one taking care of your own children. This is the problem born ones are having. Because, you see, unfortunately for us, the born ones are making too much noise in the country. The born ones are making noise, and they're making silly noise. They are making people believe that they are successful in life. They are better in life as born ones without a husband. And I'm telling you, they are burdens to society and burdens to Ghana. In the whole wide world. Any woman who has children or a child without a husband is a burden to society. They are useless. Look, if you are a baby mama and if you happen to be a wife, as a third wife, a fourth wife, a 10th wife to a man, you are better off than somebody who is just working there as a baby mama, producing the children and not being given the right to be a wife. Listen, the life of a woman in marriage must be controlled by a man. If we can't control wives, the world will never become better. So when we are allowing the girls to produce children, so they are single mothers, we buy them houses, we buy them cars, we let them travel, they go for vacation, we go and visit the children as baby daddies and we see the children, and we don't make the women wives in our lives, the children will suffer and they will never grow to have the desire for marriage. Why? Because they met their mother in 5-bedroom house, in Trasaco, in Cantonment. They met their mother living good, driving cars, name-plated cars. They met their mother in a solid ground. Even though their father was not a husband to their mother, the environment was conducive and was better. So the children are growing, and in their growing mentality, they just want to follow mother's footsteps. They just want to become like their mother. They just want to become like that celebrity. They just want to become that name. And I'm telling you that it is the trouble of our land. No example for good marriages. And the worst of it is that when they see a man who is in a position of loving the wife and proving to them that this is what brings sanity, this is what makes life better, they begin to get angry because they think that a woman, look, let me tell you, a woman who is poor, a woman who has nothing and is a wife is more important and useful than any useless single mother without a husband. Listen, the desire for marriage is created as part of parental rules. When parenting is not recognized, marriage is inevitable. Until we get to a point where people begin to admire and begin to uphold and begin to, hold in high esteem marriages, then we cannot see that the world move better. See our politics, see our Christianity, see our hospitals, see the way nurses are behaving in the hospital. The call is on their life, but most of them are going through bad marriages, so they don't even have the heart. You are raised as a single girl by your mother alone, and you became a nurse, you became a doctor. Your focus is being a doctor, being an engineer, being a nurse, being an accountant. Men are nothing to you. You are under a curse. Pray that they reverse the curse in your life. You were created for a purpose. You were created for a man to marry you for continuity. So you are born one. Your child is 20 years. Your child is 22 years. You have 2 children with 2 different men, and all the children, one is 18, one is 20, or you have 2 children with 1 man, and all the children are growing in their life, and you are pumping money into their life. You are taking them to abroad to go to school, and all of the things, anything you tell them is simple. You let them have the desire of becoming the best accountant, become the best journalist, become the bestest, become the bestest, become the bestest. When will you let your son become the best husband? Because the best husband is made from a home. The best wife is made from a home. Best husbands and best wives are not made from schools. So your son has gone to medical school 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 13 years, but he's the worst husband we can get. It's because he's from a worst home. You are proud. Yes, I single-handedly took care of this boy. And today he has graduated as a bed maker student. But he's the worst husband. Yeah, you are proud. My daughter, without the father's support, single-handedly has taken her to law school. She came as the best female lawyer in the year 2084. Whatever it is, whatever she got out of the law school has made everybody proud. I agree, but at the end of the day, she is useless in marriage. Because there was no example of marriage at home. Your daughter never saw you serving your husband on a table. Your daughter never saw you washing your husband's things. Your daughter never saw you calling your husband by a name. Your daughter never had you seeing any encounter and giving reference and respect to a man as a husband. You were always on top. You were the one in charge. Your voice is what is heard. When you give a command, is taken. Whose authority are you operating over your children at home? Nobody's authority. Your own authority. You are useless. You are useless. You are part of the problem in the world. It's not paying the fees of the children. That's what we're talking about. If you pay their fees, then what? What have you got? Pay their fees. What do you get from it? Nothing. Look, let me tell you. If you have a husband who is a father, none of your children will go wayward. Children who are raised in a standard home where there is a father and a mother are 436 million times better than children who are raising from broken homes. Take it or leave it. I don't care. Maybe it's no, I'm not talking to you, so you're angry. I don't care about it. But I am tired of meeting people every day and they are losing interest in marriage. Marriage is nothing to write home about. I mean, you have women who are also staying in marriages and they keep making silly noise and telling that I'm just in this marriage not because of anything. I'm in a marriage because of my children. If I go, I don't want to go anywhere. And look, it is better for you to and have a husband to control than to live in the same house with the man called your husband and pollute the children to know that marriage is bad. Check yourself. Check yourself. Your daughter is 35 years. She's 35 years. She's 38 years. Your daughter is 40. There is nothing. There is nothing in her that is calling her for marriage. Nothing. She doesn't desire it. And fun, our dear fun. And you see, look at you. You are afraid to call your daughter and ask her, when are you getting married? You are afraid. You are afraid. You know why? Because all the orders you are giving to your children was not an order from a father. It was not an order from a husband. It was your personal order. When a woman is giving orders at home and the order is not coming from another authority above her, she spoils the children in the marriage. Yes, their school fees is 10,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, all of them. And I know I'm supposed to pay their fees. The year I've started, you're asking for fees. I give you 5,000 instead of 10,000. I didn't say I won't pay the fees. But I'm giving you part payment of the fees. How do you tell the children what I just did? You go back and tell them, you see your father? The school fees is 10,000. You see what he's giving me? 5,000. This is why I say you should learn, oh. Learn and become a better person than the man, the stupid woman. You are foolish. You don't have sense. Because if their father, who is your husband, is useless, by giving you 5,000 Ghana cedis instead of 10,000, and you are still there as a wife, and you are still there as their mother and living with their father, then you are being a hypocrite and a silly woman in the place. Leave. Oh, leave this useless man. And go and meet a useful man who can take care of you. And let them have a stepdaddy who is going to give order from above. So that their father will still bring 5,000 as their fees. But you have moved on as a wife. Divorce is not a crime. Who said divorce is a sin? But you stay in the marriage that you say is bad. And you destroy the life of all your children. How old is your first daughter? Have you seen her marriage? Is it a replica of what you made her to be? Your son has graduated. He's a doctor, you want him. He's a lawyer, you want. He's a pastor, you want. He's an engineer, you want. He's the name you want, the chartered accountant you want. But he's a bad husband. Who made him a bad husband? Say, I did. Are we going to regret and begin to apologize to our children? Are we going to call our children and tell them, I'm sorry I didn't do well? And for those of us who are not coming, they're fresh born ones, the fresh girls who have entered into marriages, are we happy? I mean, look at how you are speaking loose to your children. Somebody was given a car, and listen to what the mother told. When the girl came and said, Mommy, hey, Mommy, and ne. Kroma ide don't say they have a simesi car. She car fe where this saying, where the 32. Only me to pay you. Media account, me see sono. Na me won for say get away. Na nya wo papa kwasi ampanyi yi obehia me hia me nyinsa me de wo wanka. Na ka mensu sise bido bi kra to car mama. You are a foolish woman to say this to your daughter. So yes, every man be share obana me be account so no. Listen carefully. That statement women make, that statement families make. In the first place, my wife's family's responsibility are not mine. They are not my responsibility. You see, they are not. But this is what happens to me. Everything my wife is making for herself right now, what she was using to take care of herself. But now that I got married to her, whatever she's doing to take care of herself cannot be used for her family. That is where the enjoyment is. But I don't think when my mother-in-law is sick, they will expect money from me to take her to the hospital. You are a foolish family to wait for me. What am I going to do for you? If my wife is sick, I will not sit down and wait for their family to come and take her to the hospital. I will do it. Because that's my wife. You understand the picture? So you see, there are things that you do as a husband in the house that puts that sort of desire of marriage in your children. When their mother is sick, who is your wife? How do you treat her? You are busy. The whole Ghana knows you are everywhere. You are an MP. You are following Nana Akufo-Addo everywhere. You are the special aid to Nana Akufo-Addo. You are so and so to John Mahama. You are like, everybody knows that you are the best newscaster. You are always here, Councillor Luto, you everywhere. And you hear your wife is sick. And you grind everything to a halt to take your wife to the hospital. Do you know what you just taught your children? You taught your children that as a husband, there is nothing too important for you than your wife. That's it. That's it. Your daughter is sick at home, and your wife calls you that, my Lord, these days even women feel reluctant. Women don't feel free to call their husband my Lord. But the Bible says Sarah called Abraham my Lord. Even though Abraham was not even impregnated, they will call him my Lord. You can't call us your Lord because we are lording over you. We are your Lord. A husband is a Lord. They call you my Lord. Our daughter is not well. Listen to me. When your wife calls you, our daughter is not well, the first thing is not to rush from where you are to go home and carry your daughter to the hospital. Listen to me. This is what makes you a husband. You give a command immediately to your wife. Bring the girl straight to Rich Hospital. I'll meet you there. This is where the children, your wife tells the children, Daddy says we should meet him at Rich Hospital. Oh my God. It doesn't make you a daughter, but it makes the children feel that there is an authority over us in this house. But look at you. Your wife cannot even reach you on phone. Your wife cannot even get to you and say the children are sick. And she too, as a foolish woman who is still in the marriage, begins to complain to the children. And I don't know if your father was here, like I know what to do. I'm calling him, he's not picking his call. Let's all sit down and die. No, you're a stupid woman. From the house you are coming from. How were you raised? People, when we don't desire marriage, the world will not be okay. Politics will not be okay. Church will not be okay. Hospitals will not be okay. let's not lose our men. Let's make sure that our men are in charge. Let's see husbands in charge. So that my son would desire marriage in future. Because the thing that the mother is telling him as a wife, she is desiring to grow and have a wife and behave like a husband who is the father. But once, rise up and marry. Because children raised out of bed at wedlock are more useless in society. They are burdens. And these people say, listen to me. The reason why your children you take to another marriage are not able to become disciplined is because as they are going into the other marriage, you refuse to let them be under the authority of the new man. Oh, did you understand what I'm saying? One table from me, ma ware me ware now ne mkwala ba wade na se enkwala na e ba wade na se ni so papa tua won fi so on papa to atade hye won eye me yire a eye omo maame ne nhihye me nhihye a me dia to kwam no mbedi so o ti awan se enti se me makọ wade obi owo ba ma ware bon wan ene na akola ne papa tua ni fees. Akola ni papa wo access o abeji akola na ko ni fie na yenye wo custody na ware me ma wade obeyire ene ne ba batie me akola ni means sa ni din akola me ntua ni fees akola me nto atade ehye no ni maame na ene na ba wade ase ni maame ba bi oda no opese ne ba ne da magiatum na so ne ba no ne na ba no enhihya me dia to kwam wo fie ha no ene na sa akola no bedi so na wa hwe ho wa wale me enkwala nyina wo fie o nyina obi a di gari foto na wo ba na ade ne ba wade ase na ye nyina ya atum se edi gari foto no oba ne di jollof rice akwala ne se a o se me buade oni nyansa you are not smart wa ba wade ase o ba mu enkwala mienu. I didn't marry you to come and treat my children as special kids. I didn't marry you to come and make my children become special to you, so I will love you. No. I didn't marry you because of my children. The orders I give in the house, I give the orders through you, so my children must obey. But look at how the way I'm treating them. Look at the way I'm treating my children. As if they are the owners of the house. Says who? Nonsense. None of my children will be stronger than any wife I bring. Who dare you? From where? A check of it. So, ya wari wa befio. Papa ni mani tino. Media mi mpese meya mani bue fumi. Hey, tiye me. Uya meire. Enshisha edefi han. Enye unaye enshishe no. Me. Ena me man enshishe no. Dear me here say, implement the decision. I am the CEO of the company. You are the manager. I say, fire this girl. Write a letter and fire the girl. And you are afraid to fire her. What are you doing? Are you licking boots? Or you are following my orders? And Korani say, I assume ware wahana de Korani kwa wadia sa Korani say, enye no kure. Enye no kure. Eti bon wan sinisi omo wale. And omo wugum. They are just delivering children. Wasting their eggs, polluting the environment, giving us burdens, giving us troubles, giving us children who don't admire what marriage is. So we are growing as a country where we have to make laws to take care of single mother and their child, and we are making men useless in society. So husbands don't want to take care of their wives. So men don't have the desire for wives anymore. Because the wives they are marrying are not doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, I am wrapping up today now. My time is up. And as I go, you want to hear this. If you are watching me as a husband, and in your home, you are not in charge, rise up. If you are watching me as a husband, and you are not in charge of your house, rise up. Otherwise, you'll be eating the forbidden fruit. And you know what the forbidden fruit are? Oh my God. Listen carefully. Your wife is raising children that are forbidden for society. because your focus is not on your wife. Your desire shall be for your husband. It means that the interest of everything that your wife does, you should be interested in. My wife is not a daughter alone. She's not a wife. So she wants to go and read masters in sweeping. That's her educational career. But remember, she's no more a daughter alone. She's a wife and a daughter. So her decision to continue education is not the father's care anymore. So my father-in-law cannot come and say, my daughter must go and do masters. So I'm bringing nuts, Jimmy. What are you talking about? Look, there are protocols we need to follow. My wife wants to do a master's. Now she's under my care. She's under my control. I am not under any obligation to pay for a master's program. No. It's not part of the marriage contract. But even if she has 40 billion to go and do her master's, we have to arrange her master's program in such a way that it will not affect the house. But look at the home now. Your home is affected because your wife is doing her master's. I'm not against education. I love education. When your wife gets her master's and she's introduced, oh, you feel okay. The children will be proud of their mother. Listen to me. A married man is respected in society because he's married. And that is because of the wife. Let me repeat. As long as I am married, society will respect me because I'm a husband. And it's because of my wife. But look at my wife. My wife is respected in public, not because of anything. But listen to me. The children are the reason why my wife is respected. When I go out there, they will praise my wife. So if you are looking good like me, in a nice suit, nice shades, a good cap, nice wristwatch, and your wife, not somebody's daughter, your wife is started and it's not looking good, it is a curse on you. Can you ask yourself as a husband, when was the last time your wife's menstrual pad became your interest? When was the last time your wife's wiglets, her wig, became your interest? Your wife has gone to the salon to shave her hair. Are you aware? Do you know why she went to do dread? Do you know why she's gone to cut her hair? Are you in charge? Are you in charge? You've not bought a car for your wife, but the company she works have given her a car. Do you know when the servicing is due? Have you ever sat in your wife's car to check the brakes? When your wife dies in that car, the company will employ a new person. So the interest is yours because your wife, look, never treat your wife like somebody who is still single. Single women take care of their cars. Single women take care of their rent. Single women take care of their utilities. Is your wife paying utility? Is she a single girl? Any man who shares the responsibility of the house with the wife will forever be under a curse, and you will suffer and suffer. You see, you are suffering, but you're not seeing it. You think things are going down well with you. No. These people that were created for us called wives, if you don't live with them with understanding, you will be under a curse, and not just a normal curse, but a curse that will affect your children and your children's children. See the children you are raising. Are you raising a good husband? If somebody marries your daughter, would they be very happy you have brought them a good woman? If your son marries somebody's daughter, would they clap for you and say, as for Mr. Lutrot's house, if they have 400 women there, I will wish to go and marry there? Is there anything like that? Is there anything like that? You might be the bad husband that your wife knows. But madam, if your husband is bad, divorce now and go. Don't stay in the marriage and paint the bad picture of your husband to your children. That's our problem. A young lady is looking very beautiful recently. up and say, me wanna me yema shebe. When I see you, then my heart kicks. I feel frightened. The daughter is looking very beautiful. The daughter is now 22 years. And you know, when they get to that stage, her body, everything, and the mother constantly is telling the girl, when I see you, I get scared. I get worried. And constantly, the girl is getting worried what the mother is saying. So she reported to me and said, why is your mother saying that? Ask mommy, why is mommy saying that? Mommy said, sit down, let me talk to you. I was exactly 23 years. See my pictures. Do you see my butt? You see my breasts? You see my hair? This is how I was. Aspiring to be a lawyer. My mother didn't have money for me to continue my education. I was sent to market and I met this man who was also a young guy who had just finished A-level and was just about to go to the university. Aspiring doctor met me. We started a relationship so I could force and go back to school. And he impregnated me and I gave birth to you. That's your father. I'm afraid the way you are looking, that somebody will pounce on you. Oh. So this was the woman's fear. Maybe you think it's a genuine fear, but it's a foolish fear. Stupid fear. So you tell your daughter that the marriage you are in today, that the father is a doctor, you wanted to be a lawyer, and at 23 years, the father crossed you, impregnated. Not that the father raped you, but you consented to sexual intercourse between the father and the father who now you are still living with. Is the man you have always lived with as a wife. You are enjoying everything right now, but you want to be a lawyer. And being a lawyer has not been fruitful in your life because at 23, like the way your daughter is, the father pounced on you. So you are afraid there is a man like the father in town who is about to pounce on your daughter. You are a stupid wife. Immediately when the girl heard this, do you know what she said? She lost respect for the father. She has lost respect for the father. Ombuni papa debio. Ese ni papa man mami anko law school. Ni papa share ni mama nyense no wo ni ntumi anko law school. Ni papa en rape. Consensual sexual intercourse. Once you took a decision to keep the pregnancy and decide to marry because of the pregnancy, why do you tell the child this story now because you are afraid? It is not an advice. And yet, this is not an advice. Like you call your elder daughter who has made a mistake. Uba penya your mistake. Na ube tunufua. Ube tunkwalane fua. No afreno. Mumbra menemo kasa. Say na menemo nwa penyi kasa wentie me ene. Odi akodu bibia wedunu. Monhwe sena waye tantantan di nam ho. Awade bonni okomi wentie me ntia. Mempese mo ati say it is not an advice. Watch you, woman. Madam, do you know why your house help doesn't respect your husband? It's not because your husband is sleeping with your house help. No. If your husband is sleeping with your house help, your husband has no right to disrespect your husband. But it's not that. But look at what you told your house help about your husband. Me mpese obehye ntade bia na mfie ha na me kunahu na ono abeda. We won't say massa be fie pe ko hye wodam na lock wo dan. Mini hana massa frewa menje so. So listen to the orders you are giving to your house help. Don't attend to master when I'm not here. When master is in the house, make sure you don't wear anything short. When master is at home, make sure you are in your room. When master calls you and I'm not here, don't respond because I don't want you to cause master to have sex with you. Anytime you cause master to have sex with you, I will sack you from this house. Do you know what you just did to your husband? You just told the house help that your husband is a sex maniac. He chops people who are not his own. So the house help is not respecting your husband. And you have destroyed the future of the house help. She will never deserve marriage because husbands chop people when they come and help. Your husband is not interested in the house help. But you see what you have done. So as I'm working in the house, as a big man, you see what has happened to me? I don't desire the house help. But you have told the house help I'm so bad. So the day I'm even sick and I rush home and I ask the house help to do something for me, she'll be reluctant, she'll be afraid, and I will understand. But my wife has polluted the house help against me in the name of protecting me. Are you a wife? See your friends. I don't want any of my friends to come and visit in my house. Oh. Me, I don't want any trouble. They will come and take my husband from you. Do you know what I'm telling the people? Now your husband is not interested in you, he's interested in other women. So we should check the way we talk. So that we will create the desire of marriage for our children. Serve your husband well. Serve your husband well. Thank you. And let your children see how husbands are served. Your children are growing. They are 3 years. They are 5 years. Let them help you bring the table mat. Let them see this bowl is for daddy. Let the children in the house have a sponge to wash daddy's bowl, daddy's cup, daddy's plate, daddy's spoon, daddy's chair. Title the things and let them feel it. Daddy, when you buy a car for mommy, forget about the people who are saying that we shouldn't name things. Let them know this is daddy's. Take mommy's car key for me. Let's feel it. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm letting the children know. Let me tell you one funny thing. You know, there's a way I call my wife, and usually when I'm calling her, she's not hearing. I don't expect my children to call my wife the way I call her. You know that. So I will call my wife, and at times it's deliberate. I see the children walking, and my wife is far, and I want to call her, and I shout her name. I don't tell the children, call your mother for me. I don't do that. You know why I don't do that? Once a while, I'll send a someone, go and call me mommy. That is how they call her. So I send them, go and call me mommy. She's not my mommy. But I'll shout and call her, Your Highness, she won't hear. Then, my daughter or son will go and tell mommy, please, daddy is calling you. You know what I just did? I have made it clear to them that there is a name that I call mommy. One day I know they will grow and ask mommy, why are you called Your Highness? They will ask. Mommy. What are we doing? What's that? Charlotte. What are we doing? Who is Charlotte? Who is Charlotte? Oh, even the children don't call their mother Charlotte. And you are calling your wife Charlotte. Are you serious? Is it pride? Or she doesn't qualify to be called a certain name. Let me tell you one thing before I leave. I'm closing. Now watch it here. Husbands, listen to me. Your wives are not supposed to qualify to be called a certain name. As long as they remain to be married to you, give them a name. Oh, did that make sense? I tell people every day, the things I do for my wife, if I could have married you who is complaining, that's the same thing I could have done for you. The same thing. Because I have been trained the way I should treat a wife. So even if Monkey becomes my wife, she will enjoy the same thing my wife is enjoying. Husbands, I provoke you today. Don't look at the way your wife is behaving, but be interested in what your wife is doing. Wives, make sure that the order that your husband has given, let it go down to the people. Whether his children are apart, your children are apart, let them follow the order from your husband. If anybody comes to your house and is misbehaving, my husband says, this is how I want to hear. My husband says, you know, you go and meet people, they are talking about your husband. And when they are talking, they are referring to your husband as Frank. You don't go, as a Frank. No, don't say same. For me, as for my husband, let them get offended. Let them get offended. Let your friends be offended that when they are talking to you, are saying, my wife, my husband, my wife, my husband. It is inculcating the marriage circle in them. If the marriage you are in is bad, don't tell people it's bad. Walk out of the bad marriage. So you don't destroy the children. Children who are raised in wedlock are 40 billion times better than children who are raised out of wedlock. Go and check the women who have raised children single-handedly, what they have gone through and what they have produced for the world. You are a baby mama. I salute you, but I want to provoke you from today. Go beyond being a baby mama and become a second wife. If the man you have the capacity to produce a child for, you have that thing, let him pay your bride price. Be there for him as a wife. And learn to submit to the first wife so you can enjoy the man. Let your children have a father figure. If you cannot marry their baby daddy, then get a husband. And so the children will follow the order of your husband, not their father, but your husband. And if you are a man watching me and you are married to a woman who has children, never say, only stupid men say this. Give orders in your house. Yabebo 8. Misrawo. Mire. Oima. Na sense na kromwa ya ne yare ninti no. Me basi yabebo 8 no. Me mba ya kura mun lock gate mba me frem. It's an order from daddy. That's what daddy says. So anybody who goes out of the house and doesn't come before the 8 o'clock, lock the gate, because I gave the order. Whether it's my son, whether it's your child, it is an order from my husband. Oh, then they lock the gate. Then the child will go to their father and go and report, me pay me ko buy na mami unlock it down, say ni cruise unlock it down. And me baby ameko, me dem make me hu na son. You are a stupid man to receive that. Immediately that child comes and give that complaint. Make sure that the child go back to the mother to go and bow. That is how they will see how marriage is. But you go and take an order from the police. Say nkwala be so onyomotra because omukunu oyire no kunu and treating kwala you know. Your children are breaking orders in this house. They are no more special than my wife. I married their mother, and their mother is my wife. She's the first thing that happened to me, and their mother must follow my orders in this house. Nobody puts on television before 6 o'clock. Nobody plays tape in this house after 9. That is the order from daddy. And they should be obeyed. Asa. When you hear my car, it is not selected. Me wale wono me mani nyi o mani nyi. Enti me car ni bana nyama wo car ni mo. When you are coming out, you come out with your children. They should follow my order. They should greet me. I don't force them to call me daddy. They can call me chairman. They can call me bossu. They can call me Mr. Otia. They can call me what? If they think that they want to call me daddy, that is not by force. It's normal. But they should be giving respect to me as their mother's husband. Why are we doing this? So that they will grow to have the desire for marriage. I greet all of you who are treating your wives as wives. And I shame all of you who are treating your wives as baby mamas. It's not too late. You can change. Don't love your wife because they respect you. And don't respect your husband because they love you. As long as you remain as a wife, I encourage you, respect your husband. Because the Bible says that you are the reason why he has more double trouble. The desire of the woman has been added to the plague of the man. When you are satisfied, when your wife is hungry, your life will never be the same again. You will suffer. I greet you. Desire to marry. I provoke you. Desire to marry. Have the desire for marriage. Have the desire for marriage. Don't look at the way your father is treating your mother and just look for education and hide behind education. All of you in the United States of America, desire for marriage. The law is supporting you. Child support. No, desire for marriage. Marry. If your marriage is bad, collapse it, marry again. Collapse it, marry again. Usura warijaya. Our jaya nya boni. Ni bie. Any ahoto. Nyami shiramo. Another time again, I'll come your way. 0277 609 604. Thank you, my dear boss. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Angela, thank you for clapping. You have said it all, counselor. Thank you so much. Let's all desire marriage. Invite me to your marriage ceremony. Oh, Gina, thank you so much. Far away from the United States. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's not palatable. What I'm saying doesn't really goes easy like that. But it's workable. It's workable. You can support our foundation with the numbers that have been dropped there for you. We are doing a lot for people. Those with diabetes, asthma, cerebral palsy, and those who are in need. A lot of people are on our bill. Your $1, your $2, your $10, your $1,000 will help us. The Zelle account has been posted there. Please go for it. Support us. Support us. They will pin it down there for you. I think henceforth we'll pin down the details down there for you to see our numbers and our everything. So you can even support us whilst I'm talking. You can send us Airtel Tigo Cash on 0277 609 644 or send us Mumu on MTN Mumu 055000 5077, or you can send us Vodafone Cash on 0507 150223. So I'm out of here for now. Follow me on YouTube. Go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And then you can follow me on Facebook. Just go and follow us on Facebook. You can follow Counselor Lutrot on Facebook. So that anytime, thank you very much, you've seen the thing that I posted it there for you. You see it clearly. You can support our foundation. Anytime I come live, you have the prompt. God bless you. Marriage is the best thing that God created for the world. Don't miss it. Always love it. This has been the School of Marriage and Relationship. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Raise for us good wives and good husbands. I'm out of here for now.